You know what? This song ends super slowly, so let's just get on with it because I am 7 minutes late. Hello, everyone. It is Friday. Yes, Shamey, that is Ari from League of Legends because all of these stream assets I originally had were made when I was streaming League of Legends, which is 6 years now, like sometime like that. And I just like using like art because there's no bias on foxes on this channel. Absolutely no biases on foxes, I swear. But yes, I used to play League of Legends and stream it back in the day. I have considered trying it, but Tenho keeps whapping me over the head and saying, no, dumb, don't. So I'm not allowed to go into League of Legends and try it because I do like the lore of League of Legends. I really do. Yeah, it is really difficult to see that because, well, she's sleeping and there are tails in the way, but that is indeed Ari. Actually, I want to show you something. Actually, never mind, because I don't even have that scene anymore with my League of Legends overlays. I still have the assets for it, so I can always remake it. But apparently I don't have the overlays for streaming League of Legends anymore, at least not in the scenes and stream selection. But we have a bunch of things to do today. Specifically, we are going to be playing some more Ace Attorney, as you all know, as we all do, and bloody hell, it's boiling here. So make it run. Yeah, but then I had to find a bunch of materials on run, you know, and that sounds like a lot of effort. And I do like Ari. Ari was my favorite character in League of Legends. Also, by the way...
just wait until I get better at drawing and I'll draw some drawings.
Thank you for the resub there, Red. I didn't forget it. Totally did, but I didn't. But there are a bunch of things I would like to get. Yes, I could get an artist, but like... from a character design standpoint, I like Ari more than I like Ram. Like just from appearance. Shocking, I know. But that's just the way it is. I like Ari's design quite a lot. Now. Actually, no, that's not. Let's see, let's go find the thingamajig. Nope, not that one. That one. Yeah, it works. And once again, I'm sorry for all the noises outside. There's a bunch of children outside. It's boiling hot here. Actually, let me check how hot it is here right now because it's been just death. And the reason I was so late was because I had to perform some emergency maintenance on my pepper plants because they were all just hanging like crazy, like, you know, I haven't like watered them in 2 days and they hate that. And then the jalapeno plant was like almost about to like just bend over and snap, so I had to adjust the jalapeno plant, put it on a lower level and tie it up. Just a lot of stuff just had to go. And I also had to do some clear on the balcony because for some reason it was incredibly humid out there. So like, I had to get rid of all of the flowers that have been like dropped to the floor. Otherwise they could start molding and that would be very, very bad. So yeah, suddenly tons of maintenance going on there. But let's get into some more Ace Attorney because we are going to be finishing Turnabout Serenade today. And you are all in for a treat, is what I would like to say, but you know the two songs, like, you know, the guitar serenade thing and the other thing? Yeah, you're gonna be just tired as fuck of those songs once this is done, because we're going to be listening to a lot and then a lot of just weird, you know. It's gonna be worse than the Blue Badger. The Blue Badger was at least only a couple of things, you know, and it was also used for comic relief a little bit. But these two songs are going to just permeate this entire trial, and I'm sorry, but It's a necessary thing. Well, this is it. Today, it's a trial that all goes down. And then, there was yesterday. Asshat. I hate that guy. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Ah! What was that? He is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valid grammary! Using the door like an average muggle, no less. You! Aren't you the witness today? Are you, Uncle Valent? A preposterous proposition! How could I stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Oh, with vanity magic? Indeed, I will jump upon an express train and express myself over to the next town. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? A grand glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. Glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, although it pains me to say part so, I need to get in line for the ticket. Farewell! And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show with that one. The big illusions are always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting things or... That was a bit fast, Trucy. Or the Eiffel Tower. Anything really. So, he was talking about what we saw at the concert. Namiloa's disappearing act. And Prosecutor Gav's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by being at the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Yeah, the Gramarie's music is just fabulous. In a way, certain other so-called fabulous artists were not. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 AM. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? Is this the first? It was by the judge's request. Something about urgent personal business. Great, I bet he stayed up late last night, watching courtroom dramas. Apparently he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is very much a Judd's character, but at least he is not that irresponsible right now, this time. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial. Here's an article about it in the newspaper, if you care to read about it yourself. Incuritis? Now where have I heard about that before? I'll let you read that article for us, I'll follow. Leave the TD guide page to me. Try not to lose the page with funnies if you can. Alright, Septile. I'll see you in a bit. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say his name again? Machi Tobaye, a suspect fortissimo. Right, in his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. Oh, I was like, what was that sound? Oh, it was just my headset, like, sliding across my keyboard. It's like, what did I break? The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. Incuritis, what is? That article said there was no known cure. Herr Judge, let me say with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. Oh. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought that Daryan would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Daryan Crescent is a member of my band, the Gavineers. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reasoning is? Weren't you aware, Herr Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts once again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Gavineers ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took the center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Ramiroir and Machi, along with a drummer and a bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Ramiroir and the defendant, Machi Tobaye, had left the stage at that point, and the Gavineers were already rocking. This is when the 2 shots rang out the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Sky, mind you. And Apollo, you heard him too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Ramiroir herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Le Crescent talking. But that's impossible! Detective Crescent was Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on no less. A perfect alibi. I wish I could say the same, Mina, because it's like just boiling here, even though the window is open. Just, death. Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there is something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Daryan Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged, which means that Ramiroir was sadly mistaken. Our testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections. Apollo, if you declare a verdict now. But Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Ramiroir might have been lying to protect Machi. How can we rely on her testimony? Wait. What about yesterday in the detention center? Everything is just burning. So now it's our turn to have 30 degrees smile, is that what you're saying? Machi was trying to tell us something, I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him under oath. Very well, the court finds the defendant, what was his name again? Your Honor! No, that wasn't it. Was it something like Marquis or Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before I declare a verdict, I would like to call on another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who until now has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean. I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Tobaye to the stand. What? But she doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as I love you and where is the toilet? The defense would like to request la miroir as the interpreter. La miroir? But there is a possibility she is protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, Herr Forehead. Herr Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense request. If la miroir lies, I'll be able to tell. If my limited knowledge of the language, my limited knowledge of the language should be sufficient for that. Well, if both the prosecution and defense are for this, then I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and la miroir to the witness stand. I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with. If you would, la miroir. Yes. He says, Machi Tobaye, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really need an interpretation for the message of that interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want to testify about? I hadn't thought of that far yet. Apollo, aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't even know what he was saying? Excuse me a moment, if I may speak. Yes, la miroir. You had a parrot as an witness. Yeah, we haven't had a translator, absolutely. Just now, Machi said there was something he wishes to testify about. Machi wants to testify about something? What could that be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. The suspense is killing me. Welcome back, Septal. That was a very quick shower. What? What? Oh, well, la miroir. According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence. What? Well, this is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This sounds too good to believe, and I don't know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then let us have this vital testimony. La miroir, Machi. Please testify to this court. Fair enough. That does go quickly. Very well. He says that a word of Miss Latou's death came to us a great shock. But if the killing truly is followed by the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that was because the lyrics are in English. He does not understand them. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask la miroir about the meaning of that song. La miroir, Did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. As my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead, everyone might be protecting the witness. Well, in anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to show me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. Okay. Let's see, I don't really realize attorney references in that game stick, man. Oh. Okay, I can't see anything like quite obvious about anything. So he's just static. Oh, we can see his eyes. By perceiving, and there's nothing else that really... Oh yeah, we can see his eyes. Let's see if there's anything about his eyes here at all. Okay, there was nothing here. Oh, at the same time, unless like Landro has something. No, doesn't look like there's anything here. Yeah, nothing on this part. So let's go to the next part. Okay, I wish I could like accelerate this. Okay, but let's see if she is doing anything in particular apart from no, she is not. No. Don't see anything like outrageous here. Not here. Cheeseburger and chips. I like that combination. We're working on it. We're working on it. I mean, I have played the game before, it's just that, you know... we'll get to everything. Hey, there we have it. Gotcha! I didn't press him. Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced towards her the moment Lamoureux said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that he can understand me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language. That is all. What? Give me a break. Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I'm sorry, but he truly doesn't understand your language. Well, then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. The newspaper? The Burgundian Daily Buge. You can buy it in this country these days, you know. As a postcard. Doesn't mention Lamour's ballad. They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes. They are quite fierce all of a sudden. Machi is lying. Maybe it's time to show the proof he's lying. I have here a Burgundian newspaper, the Burgundian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Is the phone okay? Like, I hope it didn't crack. Indeed, there is a future article about this case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That's right, it doesn't mention the lyrics. What? What's this all about? I'm sorry, Machi, you couldn't have read about the lyrics in the Burgundian newspaper. What does this mean? But I don't see how that's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. Not possible. The subject of the lyric was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. Ah, good. I have the same on mine, and I also have like this screen protector, and the screen protector is... I should replace the protector itself because it's cracked. But I haven't been able to go to a store to get it. In English, no less. The witness will explain herself. Himself. Machi says he says... Yes? It is true I read the newspaper, but this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. What? Is this true, La Miroir? Yes. I'm afraid I had forgotten about it myself. Then it looks like our forehead has been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No! I was onto something, I know it. I can't let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with your cross-examination? What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to keep cross-examining. If I'm going to keep cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else... My bracelet is still reactive. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well. Witness? I understand. There we have it. Gotcha! La Miroir, I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the moment you told the court it was I who explained. I see there's little point in trying to hide anything from you. La Miroir, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I don't believe it myself. Then allow me to answer it for you. La Miroir, you are protecting Machi. La Miroir, you're protecting Machi. That is why you lied and told that you had that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it. Really, I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have La Miroir lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Let's see. Oh, wow. That is unfortunate. Yeah, it's better to like spend a little extra money on like protective cases and screen protectors and have them crack instead of, you know, the phone itself crack because the phone is expensive. The same logic follows for if you're playing a trading card game. I play Magic the Gathering. Now, because these cards are not in a deck currently, they are only like single sleeved. But this is one of my Magic cards. As you can see, I have a sleeve around it. I have another sleeve around that sleeve for the decks that I have active that I play with. No, it's just like the topic of protecting things, just like a little tangent. But yes, it's always worth it to pay that little bit of extra to like get protection for, you know, your valuables. So like your phone, like your valuable Magic cards, and like whatever else like that can easily break. And in that case, like in some cases, I mean, some of my Magic cards are probably more expensive than my phone. So like if I spill water on some of them, that would be disastrous. Always use protection. Okay, back to the game. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Oh! Witness, is this true? Do you understand English? Yes, a little, only. What? First he could see, and now he can talk. And you did not know about this, La Miroir. No, I did not. This is quite a surprise. How many secrets is this witness hiding? This is last. Machi, can you tell us what really happened? No shooting! I did no shooting! So, you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those two gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, here on floor. Which would be after the shooting, right? Then there is voice. Voice or voices? Was it you and Emma, Paula? So when Machi went into the dressing rooms, the twos had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel high up, I take off, run away, run away! So it was you who escaped through that escape vent, that air vent. As the prosecution has held all along, no less. The defendant has admitted being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No, he clearly denied that he did it. No, I know shooting. Manager on floor, already on floor. The victim has already been shot, you say. I found that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's climbed up, Apollo. Then let us ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait, no. Of course there is. That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please, tell the truth for your own sake. Actually, I'm gonna do it like a little modification here. No, no more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust, her forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. That does see the defense and the defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything of value should this continue. I see no cause but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed. Apollo, you use this. That's justice, but allowed to say as if you were able to get some. Believe, I know shooting. Machi claims that Miss Lotus was already on the ground when he entered the room. Maybe it was a trap, and he walked right into it. Suddenly, I hear a revolver. Close, very close. Then, I hear a voice. You heard gunshots? Yes, it's true. I hear a revolver. But only sound. Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Miss Lotus already dead and then you heard the shots? That is true. So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots? And you escaped through the air vent? I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if I open an vent, I can leave stage and backstage. So, the vents went both to the stage and the backstage area. Is that what he means? Hey, he's right, Apollo, look! Huh? Yeah. But, how did you know it was connected like that? Wait, I bet his father is the architect that designed the hole or something. I heard this from Magician. Magician? Don't look at me! A magician, huh? Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Lotus. Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into a room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That's going to go over well in court. Not. Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me. I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. So, what do we do? You sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking, no. Well, it was worth a shot. That cocoon. Wait, what? That seems like... what? Spicy cheese hurts. Spicy cheese is tasty. Oh, speaking of cheese, if we had a house and I had a cheese cave, I would definitely try to make my own cheese, and I would definitely try to put my own peppers into the cheese. Because of course. I also want cake. Maybe I should have some brownies. That'll have to be when we're done streaming Ace Attorney though. What? Oh my god, that is precious! Oh. Oh. Oh my god, that is so precious! Does that thing have sound, Mina? Does that thing have sound? If so, like, put it in the flip channel. Okay, that's fine. That was amazing. Of course he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach. That's the spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan? If Machi won't testify about it, we'll just have to get someone else to testify. Someone else? I think we're out of time. Let's go back in there. Right! But yeah, I will definitely make... So honestly, I do want to try to make my own mozzarella. Because we eat a ton of mozzarella. And I hope that making it myself will be cheaper than buying it from the store. Because we eat a ton of it. Like seriously. It's a huge expense for us. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So will you testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness of this in this case, Lamiroir. Lamiroir? What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamiroir's testimony is insubstantial. There is nothing you can... Lami was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamiroir dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I have no such report. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamiroir? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think? I do. It was the same person who shot Miss Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believed that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So, am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamiroir's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover. Exactly. If Lamiroir was attacked, then this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire so deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamiroir's testimony once more. But you beat it. Lamiroir, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you had heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Daryan Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. A small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice? I don't know exactly what yet, but I know there's something there. There is, it seems, much that you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify about it once more to the court. Of course, Your Honor. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That is when I heard them. Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard a faint sound of a gunshot, and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was a smell of gunpowder. I know I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. You heard a gunshot and you heard like just okay. Pretty much the same testimony as yesterday. I am sorry. I am not used to speaking so much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet, everything I've said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? La Miroir was attacked because of this testimony. What, Druzy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. This is nothing new. Daryan Grissom? I did not know his name at the time, but yes, it was him. And the one who yesterday took the stand. How many times do I have to remind you that that's impossible? There is no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Yeah, he is, Pix. Lamura, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue we have been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter, then? Daryan Grissom. Well, what did he say? It is over. Press the switch, now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche? I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? Well, let's see if things... Yes, this is a weird case. But let us see if any cogwheels are turning with our audience now. Sure. Very vital. We can add this to the testimony. Maybe Apollo? And it was Detective Daryan Grissom's voice? Yes, I am sure of it. It is over. Press the switch? Why would I say that to Mr. Latouche? Apollo, the murder weapon, the revolver Mr. Latouche was Mr. Latouche, right? Yeah, what of it? Well, maybe when he said press the switch, he's really meant to say pull the trigger, because his English isn't so good. Daryan Grissom is a native speaker. Oh, alright. Sorry, I kind of forgot who it was that said that. Press the switch. That's not something a killer usually says to his or her victim, is it? Was there no one else in the room? I do not know. All I heard was Miss Lotus, the detective. Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery to those words. Oh, yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch save for the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens... Pull the lever, Kronk! I can't actually do her, the voice too well. At least not right now. I need more water. Nah. Can you pick some water for me? Please? I have drank it all. Thank you. Love you. Oh. I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? Okay. Is the audio messed up for you guys right now? The problem is... Yeah, so there's nothing I can do about it then. Actually I want to just... Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Damn it, This was fun at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes? This was found hidden there. On the stage? Are you claiming that the voice Lamura heard was of someone commanding another to press this switch? It's a possibility. Oh, Herr Forehead. I'd like to call that an impossibility. Why? It is highly necessary to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. No, it's just, it's me. It's here. It is without a doubt the game itself. There's probably some sort of corruption in the audio files in the game, so we're just gonna have to deal with it, I'm afraid. Actually, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to restart and reload it and see if that helps. It did help last time, yeah. Which is what I was thinking about. Let's try it. The stage is quite far from Lamura's dressing room. Not to mention that the Galvaniers were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You can shout all you want and not be heard. Did you turn it off and on again? Tech support 101. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too have her forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't need to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard in the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like some evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it will be easy to get a message to someone on the stage from the dressing room. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this. Why that's... Oh, what? What is it? Is that some kind of new fandango phone they invented while I wasn't looking? Let's see. Like, so there. I have a couple of theories on doing that, because let's see. Most people who watch, because I stream mostly very niche games outside of like Nier, which brought in quite a few, but mostly I stream niche games, and people aren't drawn to them. And many of my viewers are people I hang out with on Discord, like in many various Discords. There's also another thing that I try not to push it at all, because I'm not looking to make a career out of Twitch. The only reason really is if people are absolutely wanting to have those emotes that I have available. Yeah, the VODs are also there only to archive. At least for the time being, until everything's up on YouTube. So while I appreciate subs, it makes me like feel very self-conscious whenever I get some, because, you know, it's like you can have, like, you can spend on some, like, someone who's actually in there. I get all flustered, you know? I get super self-conscious, and I was like, I'm just doing this for fun and stuff, and like people throwing money at me for some reason. Yeah, why do you people give me money? So I am more about like giving, like it's like as I said, I'm not trying to make this a career. It's more like a hobby, and I'd rather like this money be spent on like if you want to get yourself something nice, or like someone else on Twitch who might need it more than me, things like that. Yeah, it's the same for me with bits and subs and everything. I just have to deal with it, you know. But that's also why I keep commissioning Kaimo for emotes, so that, you know, like the things that people are, the people who are subscribing will get something like back from me, you know. And everything that goes into my, like, I get from Twitch from subscribers is used to, like, buy games to play more on stream and stuff like that. Communications device? From what I've heard that night, everyone on the stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes, actually. They are for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that you are wearing one of these? Yeah, like, so I get super flustered, which is also why down below there is a like a donation link, in case someone is crazy enough to just do something strange. I'd rather that thing not be used, but I did. I think I got one on the previous one I had, my previous provider. And that freaked me out. That is many years ago, but that freaked me out because, like, you're not supposed to do that! Basically, yes. So you do admit that you were wearing one of these. Talking from backstage to backstage to the stage would be simple. Still though, I don't use like subscribers as a metric. I would just like to share games with people, that is all. Which is why I also like stream whatever I want. It's like my decision, you know. And I could probably build an audience, like a bigger audience, if I was like very consistent in what I was streaming, like, you know, like more mainstream games. But that's not really the goal of this. This is just me wanting to share like the joy of games with people. And games people may not already have played or seen. For example, like very few people have actually played the Longest Journey series, and I streamed the entire thing start to finish. And like with the Ace Attorney games, not everyone is into like this kind of games, but like as a thing themselves, but just listening or seeing someone else play it because they know what it is, so you don't have to spend too much time looking for the puzzles, that's quite fine, you know? Things like that. True, but wait. Those send out an electronic signal to avoid interference with the audio system. The range is quite limited. Now I said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram of the courtroom concert forum. Ah, exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far. But the directed distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be. Because of those damn smirks. But yeah, that is also why I cut back on streams, because I was feeling myself burning out a little bit. So only streaming 3 times a week instead of like 4 or 5. I think I was streaming 5 times a week at one point, but I just nope, can't do it anymore. So when the landlord heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on the stage. Ah, you're claiming this was a switching question? Why did it have to be on the stage on that time? It could have been placed in a pocket and carried everywhere. Someone could have hit it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press a switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there was little point in debating it. Ugh. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch with this switch anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Wait a second. I know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is, right? I'll have to use different metrics. I think my archive on YouTube has collectively, like the average video on my channel has like 3 views, like 4 views. Yeah, 4 and powers activate. But yeah, it's just for archiving. Although I do like it is, likewise on the YouTube actually, the same thing there. Is that I can also, there are many tricks I can use. You can use on YouTube to increase your subscriber count. And I actually have been using some of them, and my subscriber count is slowly trickling upwards. So we will see if we can pull in some more people who love games as much as I do. Because it's just fun, you know, it's just fun. Yeah? If nothing else, I hope to inspire people to try certain games out for themselves. Because I just want to share this joy, you know? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice? I have been remiss not in telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking this switch to this case. Let us see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is? Prosecutor Gavin, do you remember this? Ach! Is that... What? Is it another one of those new fandangled phones? This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually. Yeah, so when we get to Ace Attorney Investigations 2, will actually get me confused and having to solve the puzzles and not do many things from memory, which will be interesting. You aren't saying this switch is a remote? I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. Oh yeah, we have like my comment section is pretty much like all spam, which is kind of amusing. That is why comment sections exist though, right? Don't take too like the harsh things to heart. I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. No, don't. Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than expected. If my whiskers had caught on fire. Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote ignite trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You are talking about what happened to me, aren't you? I don't mind long games. I mean, we've been playing, like, you know, Ace Attorney for these games. Exactly. That night at the concert there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware that such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right. He got it in Virginia from Lamerois. He said it sounded was amazing. Well, before it burned, of course. Now it's just up in kind of smokes. The better the guitar, the better, the brighter it burns. Our forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice, heard by Lamerois, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire? I am. It is really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire. Well, that just seemed to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me and I can't quite put my finger on it. Really? It seems pretty simple to me. Our forehead. Don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little bit more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What is this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? This simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that day my guitar caught fire, yes? The cause may have been this, indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Ah, that's right, of course! The guitar caught on fire during Lamerois' song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what's bugging me. I recommend watching or playing the trilogy if anyone hasn't, as there are a ton of recurring. Yeah. So for anyone who's watching who wants to like do that, I have my entire YouTube archive available for you with the entirety of the first trilogy, the first investigations, and this game. It's available. It will be available on my YouTube archive. Hashtag sellout. The whole premise for this was faulty. see, your story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Let's see. Did I choose just to get my voice? Yeah, I think you're right there, Pix. I think you're right. Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that is at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. What is this? But Detective Emma Sky heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act. Gunshot rang out, and according to this testimony, Machi was in the dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely that the victim had already been shot. We all heard the gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane! Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames. We know that a remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can only draw one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance in the second act. What? Order! 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 But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? Hey, he's right, look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look, why would the shooter craft the events that day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever was doing it had some reason. Yes, they did. For a reason that would make it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You are saying that the order was reversed on purpose? Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin? If the criminal follows the lyrics strictly, then yes, the shooting would have come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet aforehead has raised another possibility. He is claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't I put it better myself? We were only meant to think the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime would follow the lyrics to a point, but that was all the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics the whole way. Order! 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 But that would explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of the events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not for the second. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason to why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic. For it is flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction aforehead. I have pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. Could Lamiro heard the voice through it. Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamiro's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? a man saying press the switch, and near the crime scene we have a switch. It's possible to miss certain two character cameos. Oh, well, we'll get to that. Because, like, I remember all of Ace Attorney's characters, like, very vividly. Except for Dual Destinies. Dual Destinies is a little bit trickier. Yes, we did miss, but that is because it was like very brief and we were focusing on another thing. And that was Phoenix, Maya and Pearls in the background of the Gatewater land. We were kind of busy. Which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't be coincidence, but how can I make it all work? I see one more direct line of questioning is required. Also the Blue Badger, yeah. Ah. Oh, things like those kinds of cameos. Oh, I see. We'll get to that. I mean, Investigations 2 Case 5 is still like, at the very least 2 months down the line, I think. Because we still have to finish the last case of this game, and then afterwards, when we play Ace Investigations, we're gonna have to get through that, so. Then the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime. That window was closed. Yeah, exactly. Can you tell us how Lamira heard the voice?
A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court?
Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamira heard a voice. And she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lamira able to hear the voice? When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it had it been open either, meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it is good to hear you making sense again. For a moment I was afraid you might be a Bohemian too. As I was saying, Lamira could not have heard the voice through that window. Yeah, this is the first part. We're still going into the meat of this case. She heard the voice from another location entirely.
What is this?
You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and I had... and I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Yeah, do it if you are present, because I do like seeing Easter eggs, like cameos in games. It is so much fun. I love this phrase. This phrase is amazing. I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. I love that phrase. It's so good. Now, I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Oh. Shall I interpret for you, forehead? Lamira clearly stated she heard a voice through that small window. There is only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is?
Ah, I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well, you claim Lamira heard a voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was.
Lamira heard a voice from here. This is where Lamira heard a voice from.
But that's no small window. That's the air vent. What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine that she called this air vent a small window. Now you've done it! You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lamira was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical! I do not think that word fits what you think it means, her forehead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? Ha! It hardly merits saying. Why would Lamira be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamira? You have been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes, I admit. It's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed, but why should that mean I could not hear through it? I fear the prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. Ugh! The problem here is words. Lamira, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room and not on a low wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. What? Order! Order! I will have order! Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you, in fact, saying that you were up above in the ceiling of the room, and that is where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact, I was. I am sorry. I never imagined that it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? Is it obvious, Apollo? This was happening in the middle of the performance? I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can't. May I remind you that this is a murder trial. We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I'd heard. As to why I was up there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter. Bound to secrecy? In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold. But you say you were in the middle of your performance, so this did happen during the second set? I did not witness this crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail. That is what cross-examination is for, yeah, forehead? Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She was above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her. I love this. Now, where is the videotape? There's the videotape. Lamira, truth be told, the reason for your presence above the ceiling is quite clear, especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video.
And so begins the examination of the songs. Isn't this wonderful? Oh. As we can see, Lamira was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Oh. Though it saddens me to be so realistic, Lamira is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So, the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo... What? What is it, Druzy? It's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets! And it's against the rules! But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice. And there's a statement. This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha! He's just realizing his own oversight. Yep, it is. It's still good. I really like the way they build this. It's just so outlandish, but it's so good. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here we can see that we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear forum. Recall Lamira's testimony from yesterday. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Lamira knew of this because of her part in the illusion, but she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the vanishing act, of course, yet I had no idea of the routes that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me? Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. That is bread and butter of magician's life, you know, which is why he bound Lamira to secrecy. Well, Lamira? I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi was right about you. So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling? I did. Well, that's that. But I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? As I said before, that's nothing new, yep. There was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds tops. Yeah, that was a bit too fast. I don't remember if I caught the condition that comes with a bit if you don't have Dungeon Specify. Yeah. Especially when you know about that it's possible to move between in the air vents like that. That's a good question. Can the witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well. Mr. Justice? Yes? It's all up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor?
You need to explain how Lamua was able to teleport like she did. Or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamua who doesn't get along with the program here. As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. Bello! Your burgers are all gone. The burgers with a vanishing act. Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. Burger! We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Yeah, I'm aware of this because I already know. I remember how this goes. But yeah, she has a certain other detail that you can catch here. Oops. Right. I feel like a student before the finals. Good luck, Apollo. As a matter of fact, I can show you that. Show it to you. It's a very like if I can show this thing. So okay, actually let's just start here. Come on, go a little bit quicker. It's too slow. I can almost jump through the entire thing. I think here you can see it. So you notice here, she's wearing the brooch here. And when we get here, it's a little bit hard to see. Let's see if we can see it. Okay, we're gonna have to see from here. Just to show you the logic of it. But when she shows up over there again, you see that she is missing it. It's hard to see. It's very hard to see. But like if you look here, like her hair is a little bit in the way, but the brooch is missing. Brooch. Yeah. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There was an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. It is very hard to catch it though, but it does explain why you found her brooch where you did find it. The plan was for me to move up there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I hope it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something.
Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamua is saying and what we can see plainly in the video. I figured it out already. I'm a magician after all. Well, tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets. Come on. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here. Two minutes? Yes. It can be done in 1 minute if you're running. Running? In that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling? Haha, Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me. Ah, that's true. Oxy smirk. You know, I should probably commission a smirk emote as well, because I smirk a lot, you know. Ay isn't really doing it some of the times. Tenno's the smug one, and I'm the smirky one. I do smirk a lot.
What's the difference between a smug and a smirk emoji if you were to make two of them?
I guess.
That's true, but so you say that on the night of the concert you made a trip in 2 minutes.
Yes. Though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway. Lamar disappeared on the video for 20 seconds. Yes, Pat Mina. Mina's been lurking here. But I noticed that, like, we need to, you know, keep patting. Stay calm and pat Mina. Pat Verb, Pat Vampire. But she said we made a trip in 2 minutes. How? If you want my professional opinion, I bet the answer is right there in a minute. Huh? Okay.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some sort of evidence for us. Something that can explain the disparity between the video and her testimony.
Penalty fix is also available. Evidence explaining this disparity? Yes, we do. There is one piece of evidence that explains the disparity between the video and this testimony. Lanois, do you happen to remember this brooch?
Aha! The brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not?
It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now. Why? A murder by numbers game. Oh, cool. I thought we had already determined when that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Here you can see she's wearing a brooch. Her brooch.
So she is.
Let's look a bit later.
What? The brooch is gone.
What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in a short space of 20 seconds. Yeah, we have a long way to go. But this is we're closing the end of the first part. So we're gonna be here for a while, like another 2 hours afterwards, probably. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means that there can be only one explanation. The Lamira we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lamira we see after are two different people.
What?
The brooch was found on the floor of the scene of the crime. But not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vents. Lamiroir, tell me, do you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage at the very moment you witnessed the crime? Yes, I think I did.
What Prosecutor Gavin?
From your expression, I get you had no idea was the case, the Herr Judge. I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong. I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time.
So, I was right? There was a switch?
There was. Just before the stage tower rose, Lamira was replaced.
While we're on the subject, just who was this replacement Lamira?
Why, the man behind the illusion, Valant Grammary.
It was Grammary?
That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing. Yes? The switch had happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on stage, that's right. But this fake Lamua is still singing. And she's pretty good.
That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They were just playing a recording. Discord? What have you done, Mina? What have you done? Which part of Discord? There are many parts of them. Oh. I see. Of course.
Oh, TC did something.
TC did a thing again. You know. TC the shit poster, you know? But the thing is also, I can't dispute it because I love cheese. Oh. Oh. Ah. Bello. Bad. Bad. Bad, 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 bad. The Gaviniers aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein. Oh, you mean I'm wrong? When we play a live show, we play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, La Miroir. Very well. That's a bap. Just a bap. We don't ban people for puns here, but we will bap people for puns.
Ah, yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing even while I moved.
You were singing?
Yes, Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for the recordings, so I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling towards the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing? Even when everywhere I go is the same darkness.
But if you were singing while you were walking...
That's right! Wouldn't the shooter and the victor have been heard? She was singing right over their heads after all. That is right. Are you sure?
You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling.
Once again, we come back to the stakes of the scene of Scribe. Wait, what was that? Oh, okay, that was just dumb shit going on in my computer.
What state?
Ah, I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker?
That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. Everyone had an earpiece, yeah. Satisfied, the dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lammer was singing in the ceiling, sounded like Lammer was singing over the speaker.
Ingenious. Her voice was hidden by her voice.
Ah, Lameroy? I have just remembered something. Everyone had an earpiece, absolutely.
Do tell.
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
The song stopped?
Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice. Forehead! That mixing board I lent you, where is it?
The mixing, huh?
That machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks.
Oh, this? I completely forgot about it.
Let's take a listen.
The song does stop there. It does? I must have missed it. Look at the lyrics sheet. Look at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. Here we go. Yeah, I noticed, TC. I noticed. And as I said earlier, I can't dispute it because I love cheese. Now go away. This is evidence indeed. But have fun with the D&D. I believe I'm guilty of making a terrible mistake. The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamoureux's ballad. If that's true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been a shooter. Which means that Daryan Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on the stage for the second set. Yeah, you definitely have other people so you can target with your trolls. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around so thoroughly. Yet, one problem remains. What is that, Prosecutor Gavin? Our forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Wait. Charles post... Wait, what? Oh. Charcoal! Bad! Don't post out of context things. You know, we should, like, I would like to remind everyone that I do have a quote system here, so if I do say something, feel free to add things, because quotes that are out of context are so much better when it's just text. You know? And just me saying, I need more tentacles is a good quote, but it's kind of a little late now, you know? Yet it's entirely based upon Lamoureux's testimony. Yes, is there a problem with this? Well, it is quite simple, though it pains me to say it. Yeah, the quotes, like the bot doesn't show in the chat over there. Because I don't want to have my chat, like archive chat here, just littered with bot messages. What is if she's lying to protect the defendant? But you have no proof. All I'm saying is that there is a truth is yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself. The man? You don't mean? Yes. Zoe is a friend and a band member. Daryan Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. As someone with a new perspective on the case. As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole. And I'm ready to catch him. Daryan Crescent, get ready for justice. This is as good a time as any to call pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and be ready for the time we begin. I am the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are. Very well. The court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess. Hello. Hello, Mara. And this is also a good time for me to have a brief little recess for myself. So I'm going to just save this.